Hello YouTube, it's Pac-Man building time again, and today I thought we'd start off with a bit of Windjammers. I'm already losing, as you can see. Again, like I said before with Berserk, it's one of those games I've never played until Main came out, and it's an absolutely brilliant game. There's nothing like it, I don't think, on any consoles that were around at the time, apart from obviously the Neo Geo in console form. So yeah, it's oops. Awesome game. So today we are going to be putting the side on the other side onto the arcade machine, and and we're going to try and put some other bits and pieces on as well. Like we'll put some of the back panels on as well at the top, because we should then be able to get the door on. Probably not in this episode, but we'll see. So let's just finish this game, see if I can beat this bloke here. Doesn't look like it. There we go. Ah, I've lost. So let's get on with the building. Okay, it's been about 24 hours, maybe a bit less, but I think there should be enough time for this glue to have dried. As you can see, we've got that. We go on this side. Better to see. This is on pretty solid now. That's not going anywhere. So that's pretty good. It's pretty flush down here. Like I said, there's a little gap that we could fill, but other than that, it's fine. So I've decided, I think, like I said in the previous video, that we're going to get the other side of, which is ready to go over here. Still losing my voice, I think. So yeah, well, I think the thing is, with this one, I've got it relatively straight, and by me straight, I mean at a right angle up here, because I had it laid on the little workbench that's over there. Obviously I can't really do that with this, because I don't really fancy laying it flat with this bit here hanging in the air, because it will put stress down there. So I think what I'll lay it on its back, and then glue it in position that way. So I'll do that now. Okay, we've got the cabin on its back, and my solution to keeping this corner here, or this side here, a 90-degree angle to the base, is that when I cut the base here, and I'm going to have to keep moving this camera around, because and the slotted base bit down here, they're all cut out of the same piece of wood. So this piece here that I've laid on the floor is a spare piece, which I'll probably use at some point later on. So I put that, if I probably put this tripod inside the cabinet itself, there we go. I've put that at the top on the floor and made sure that everything's sitting tightly. So hopefully that should keep a right angle down here in this corner. So I'm going to do a few measurements to make sure everything is looking good, but I'm pretty sure that should keep everything straight and true. So I'll do that, and then come back onto the camera, and then we'll glue it together. Okay, move this piece of wood up a bit further. This one here, just so that it focuses. Come on. Just so that we definitely know right at the end. I mean, we're only worried about the back sort of side at the moment, to keep everything level. So moved it right up to the back, or up to the end that way, because I found that the width at this end here, to be a bit smaller than this end, because obviously I hadn't moved up this piece of wood to straighten the side out. So I think that's pretty good to go now. So if I turn the camera around without disturbing this, and then that should do it. There you go. There's all the TVs and things. There we go. So we're going to be gluing this corner here. So let's do that now. I might have to move this side, obviously, to get the glue in, but then use my piece of wood to line it up again. So let's get a new one out. So I want glue along here. In fact, I might have to move the whole thing out again. And then obviously glue along here and glue there, I think will probably do it. So if I move this slightly there we go. So we want some in there. Let's have a try and zoom in one hand because I've got glue all over this one. I've not got much space in the garage at the moment, as usual. Here's focus. Yeah, just about. So that's pretty good length in between those. If we can swizzle this round, oh, and then go down and zoom out a bit actually, because I can't see. We've got a piece of wood up the top there as well, just to keep everything straight. So, hopefully, I'm going to give that a couple of hours. I don't know, maybe I should give it 24 hours because it's load bearing, isn't it? Give it 24 hours. To dry, and then it should be able to, I mean obviously it can stand up on its own anyway, but we're going to have some weight put onto this side then as well. So wait 24 hours and then we'll come back. In fact, that'll probably be the end of this section. Not sure if I'm going to edit this all together in the end. Come round eventually. This side, have a look what we've got. I think the next thing we're going to do, once that piece is on, because we definitely know that end up that side is going to be the right thickness, because I've got that piece of wood there. I'm going to cut that piece of wood to size and have another back piece. Get over here. Another back piece along like this, probably about that width there, and then the door panel's going to sit here. Okay, it's been about 24 hours since I stuck the side on, so I suppose the only thing left really is to put it up on its end again. Hopefully everything's straight. I don't really want to have to take it apart again and glue it back together. So let's do that now. Let's get rid of this. Feels pretty solid. rid of that. Now which way do I pick it up? See what I'll do. I'll move the camera over like this. There we go. Can't really see that. Let's go in the back first. Which side was it? Oh, this side. So that's pretty straight, I think. My camera's making funny noises. It's better. Let's get the wherever it is. Let's get this thing, yeah, which the previous owner left here. Spirit level just to see. Yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good. I'll try and turn it around. I don't want to break anything because it's. I'm going to have a lot more. This is a bit wobbly at the top here because there's no support. A bit worried about moving it. It wasn't too bad when it had one side on it, but because it's where are we? There we go. Because it's a lot heavier now, I'm a bit worried to move it. Let's go in the front. This is why I need to get some more. Oops. Yeah, it's pretty good. Oh, let's see if I can move it back a bit. There we go. Got brave then. Let's just go in the front. Starting to take shape now. We got our vents at the back there. We got our two sides on. So I think the next thing to do, I'll put that there, is do the top of the back panel, which is going to go across here. Which would be the same as the bit at the bottom. So that's the next thing to do. So I'm quite happy with that actually. It's pretty good. Yeah, not too bad. Right, okay, everything's pretty much dry from last time. I put a bit of extra glue on the bottom because could have done with it, to be honest. But yeah, now that's all dry. We can crack on. So I've had a slight change of heart with this. I was going to do the bit that went along here, but I think it's probably easier to get this top piece on, which comes along here. Then I know exactly where, because that goes flush with here, and there will be a gap probably along here. So yeah, once this is on to basically the top panel, the whole thing, once that's on, we'll know exactly where to put this section here. So we're going to do that today, hopefully. The only problem with it is there's going to have to be, I'm going to cut an angle into the side of the wood so that it comes flush with this side. I don't know if I can show you that actually. If I bring the camera around. Oops. Get rid of some of these monitors, they're getting everywhere. Right, so if we have a look at the back, there. And luckily I got this piece of wood cut from when I did the lower section, so it's the right width. So what's going to happen, when I cut this to the right length, it'll be fine. It's going to be there, like that. But we're going to have some, oops, if you can see that, we're we're going to have some overhang at the top here because of the angle that this is at. So I'm going to have to cut an angle into this with my circular saw, which I've never done before. So that's going to be relatively tricky, because I like to do this as easy as possible, really. If I can cheat, I'll cheat. So yeah, I'm going to cut it to length first, and then have a think about cutting the angle in with the circular saw. So let me measure the length out, and then we'll cut it, and then we'll think about the angle. Right, to measure the angle that I'm going to cut this piece of wood at, I used this little piece of wood here, and I lined up with where it's going to go on the back of the cab, and measure where the sort of hangover of the wood would be, so that basically this line should be flush with the back of the cabinet, and it's basically the angle, the angle from here out to here, I think, after working it out, should be the angle that we need to cut the wood, and that turns out to be almost exactly 20 degrees, so we're going to use 20 degrees, a 20-degree cut. I can't know if that's a bevel cut or whatever, I don't know. But this thing here, you can angle it to a certain amount of degrees, and I've set it at 20. I've got a test piece of wood set up, so let's cut that and see if it looks okay on the back of the car. Got that lined up okay now. I think it's this tiny piece of wood, and this workbench is a bit crap, and I just want to make sure I don't go through the metal on here, so just see. I've caught on something then, I'm not sure what. Odd. I think it's got stuck here actually, but I didn't cut all the way through. But I've got an angle. So it's just a test piece of wood. So you can see there, apart from this bit, which I'll get rid of in a minute, we've got our angle cut into the wood there. So if I bring that over here, take its mask off, if we go over here, okay. Zoom in a bit, too much. Right, so try and work out how this is going to go now. Yeah, that works, I think. It's hard to tell because of the curve on the corner. I don't think you can see this from there. If we look here, and it's going to be trying to figure out which way this goes round. So yeah, the angle, right, yeah, okay. So this bit is going to be the top along here, and this we want to be flush with the back along here. So we've basically cut that so that it then, if I put that like that, so it's going to be further down, but I'm using the top to line it up. I think that will do it. If I've got a small gap, then I can fill it as usual, but I think that should do it. I may narrow the angle slightly. But yeah, right, I'm happy with that. So let's do it to the real piece of wood. Okay, I think I've got all this all lined up now. Slightly less than 20, so that I can sand rather than to fill it in sand. Hopefully, we'll see. So let's cut this then. So we get on. Right, unplug that. That's pretty good. Let's have a look on the old camera. So there we go. Angle cut pretty straight all the way along. So, I'm glad I got this this circular saw now, because I couldn't have done that with a jigsaw. In fact, I tried, I think, somehow, I can't remember, on the back of my cab just there. That didn't work out very well. It's got a load of filler and stuff, I haven't finished it yet. If anyone as well, I keep forgetting to mention this thing here will be finished eventually. It's just not painted. When I'm painting this one, when I'm painting this one, I'll be priming it. It'll be a good excuse to do this one, and also cut the T-moulding slots as well. So I'm going to get both finished at the same time, hopefully. Right, so left a piece of wood over there. So if we come and have a look at this again. Take my mask off, there we go. Not muffled anymore. Right, so goes that way round. Like that. I think that's pretty spot on. I don't know if you can see that. I'm trying to zoom in. I think I just got really lucky with this. I was doing it just a bit less than I needed to so I could sand it. But I think, I don't know, if I'm trying to get this, in fact if I go to the top, it's there, it's a lot of wiggling around just trying to get it right. That looks pretty flush to me. Can't tell because of this, but even if it's not right on it, so it keeps slipping away, I can do a bit of sanding to get it right. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. That's pretty good. So, I think the next thing to do is get this stuck on. Now the other complication about this is the fact that there needs to be a specific gap along here, and same goes to the other side as well. I'm thinking I'm not sure if I'm putting little buttons on that piece of wood to keep it held on here securely. Don't know whether I should put those on first or stick them to the top panel and then glue that on with those stuck on. I'll think about it. Make a jump cut, have a think about it, and then I'll decide. Right, I'm not bothering with the wooden buttons for this bit because I've done a bit of thinking. And let's have a look at this side. We're going to have something coming up here, which I'm going to stick a wooden button to. So I've got to make sure if I did put something under here, make sure that wouldn't impact there. Also, from the front, I'm going to have some kind of marquee lighting in here as well. So I don't want to take up any space with any extra pieces of wood under this part here at the moment. What I'll do is I'll glue that in here now, something like that, and hold it on with some clamps, and then once I know exactly, I mean I probably won't need it, but I just want to make sure that everything's secure. Once I know exactly where everything's going, I can put a piece of wood underneath and glue it in place. So That's on the floor pretty much now. Use another piece of wood to brace the top side because I don't want it sort of snapping from the joint at the bottom, and this will obviously brace it. So let's put this in place now. In fact, what I might do, the glue isn't dry, but it's quite thin. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wipe the excess away and re-glue. Right, I do. Right, it's that way up. It's going to be quite difficult to do. I didn't realise how difficult. The good thing with this is I don't really need the clamps now because the pressure from this top section is going to push down. I think I'll probably take that piece of wood away. I think that's pretty good. I hope it's pretty good. Otherwise I'm going to be taking the hammer to it at some point. It's probably the hardest bit I've had to do so far in terms of lining everything up. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Get rid of any excess that's going to be seen. Just going to have to chisel this crap off. Let's dry. Thing goes up here. Ow. If you can see, probably not. So this piece of wood goes all the way down there, and oops. You've got your gap along there, and if you can just see, it's right on the floor so I can't really get underneath. You got the gap there, hopefully these gaps are the right size. I just measured them, they seem okay. And if we look at the back, this is the best bit. I think I've pretty much got those angles right. Can't really see that, it's too dark there now, but it's pretty flush. So that's the most awkward one I've had to do so far. Can't zoom out anymore now, I can't. But that'll give it a lot of strength. And obviously I need to do the piece behind, which I was going to do originally, and that's going to have a couple of one big square vent hole. It also has a circle at the back as well. I'll put a picture on while I'm talking over it. There's a circle in the top right corner of that piece, and I'm not really sure what that's for, unless it's some kind of cutout or it's the power. Don't know. But I think what I'll do is I won't bother with that hole, and I'll just use a drill later on to make it. But yeah, I think that's pretty good. I think we'll let that dry. I'm going to do a bit of measuring as well on it off camera, just to make sure everything's okay before I do let it dry. And we'll come back later on. Okay, it's been a couple of days. I've actually been away for a bit since we did the last video. As you can see as well, the arcade is not on the floor because it was really doing my head in because I couldn't access anything in the garage. So what I did is let's come back here, put it up on its end, standing out, and I used some clamps rather than the weight of the actual machine itself to hold it down. It's turned out pretty good. Zoom in a bit. There's a bit of excess glue in here and there, but come on, focus your stupid thing. There we go. It looks really, really good. Let's see if we can we go up any bit? Yeah, and go a bit further. There we go. What we'll do now is we'll take the clamps off and have a better look. So let's see if I can settle this camera down. A bit of an angle, but there we go. Zoom out again. There we go. It's starting to really take shape now. So let's undo these. Take off. And then move this all out of the way. So we can move around it a bit better. Right. Yeah, this looks really, really good. I think I got really lucky with the angle at the back as well. It was sort of a guess. It was just under 20 degrees. But if we look here, that is pretty flush. That's pretty vertical. So when I'm put the next bit in, which is the next job to do, the bit along here with some vents, which is what I was going to do originally, but I went to this bit in first, because I can keep it stable then. And I knew the angle. So the next bit I put in, I know exactly where it's going to go. It's going to go up here. It can't go any further up. So yeah, fantastic, brilliant, all looks great. So I need to move this really, so I can cut the next bit of wood. So yeah, let's get cracking with that. Okay, I just need to trim the edge off this side because it's got the angle from last time. I could use the other side, but I'm not sure if that's entirely straight. So, I'm struggling for some reason. So I think next time I'll this crap out of the way. Right, so I'm just going to get on this side just to straighten it up hopefully. Got my guide here, hopefully that'll keep it nice and straight. I'm not sure if it will, but we shall see. Make sure that's not going to hit the lid of the table. No. I did get a lot of sawdust on the machine there, which isn't good. I can get rid of that. That's not too bad, it's a bit of a divot up here. But I think that's pretty straight. So we can make our measurement from that side. So I'll do that now, and then we'll come back and we'll cut that other side. Sorry, that bit. Okay, so I've got it all measured up now. I've got it switched around so that the dust doesn't go on here, which it did last time. So yeah, let's just get this piece cut. Just plug this in. Get that out of the way. Right, so hopefully you should get this nice and straight. Looks good. So much easier with a circular saw. You get a couple of divots here and there, but it's so much straighter. Get such a cleaner cut. You probably can't hear me with the mask on, but there we go. Oops. Right. So, I'll keep my mask on because there's all the dust in the air. Don't do a John. I just watched John's arcade video and he forgot. Well, I didn't bother wearing a mask and he was coughing up for ages. So I'm keeping my mask on today for a bit. So this is going to go fit in like that. But we're going to have some vents cut. I'm going to have to measure those probably off screen because it's going to take a while. So something like that. I think what I might do is I save this bit off when I cut this bit straight, because this is the angle I cut off. This hopefully, well, I don't know. I can check this now. This fits. It does. Just a bit awkward. Come on. This is all the glue. You see, it's just getting in the way. You stand down a bit. Take the mask off for a bit. Actually, it's not too bad in here today. Come on. There we go. So I'm hoping it gives a bit of a gap. If I can, yeah, that looks quite good actually. That'll give it added strength if I just shove that in there as well at the same time. Yeah, that looks pretty good actually. Same length. Because obviously there will be a gap here because of the angle. So, well, I'm glad I saved that bit now. Okay, so what I need to do is we need to cut holes, vent holes into this, and I also need to get some little battens cut because we're going to have probably what I'll do, because I'm going to put this piece in here, I'm just going to have them up to here and down there so that they glue onto both sides. So I'm going to cut those now, and then we'll cut the holes out for the vents. Okay, I was saying vents before, but what I meant was vent. There's one big square vent, I suppose, at the top of the Pac-Man cabaret machine. So I'm going to do a hole. You can see where I've measured it and basically just scribbled where that bit's going to come out. So I'm going to drill a hole, use my dodgy jigsaw, and hopefully get it as straight as possible. I might just go inside the line so I can sand outwards rather than having to fill in. So I'll start that now. Make sure my mask's on. Oh, that's not too bad. It's a bit bumpy at the bottom. Could do with sanding, but I think the rest of it's pretty straight. Yeah, it's not. Yeah. See, I've been used to the circular saw now. And this is crap in comparison, but we're not going to see. Let's have a look. We're not going to see this because there's going to be a big vent over the top on the outside, so zoom out. So it's not that important, but I'm going to give it sand anyway. Yeah, so we'll sand that now quickly, and then we'll glue the little buttons onto it that I've cut, let that dry, and then we'll stick it onto the cab. So we'll do that now. Okay, let's have a look. Oops, not the camera. It's not too bad. There's a couple of divots here and there. It's not amazingly straight, but there's going to be like I say, a vent over here, so it's not a big deal. We won't see it. It's just a case of just having a hole there. That's relatively strong for how thin it is. Yeah. So what we need to do now is zoom out a bit first. Grab these. So these are 2 bits of wood I cut earlier. You probably saw it on camera. They're going to go there and there, and they're going to get stuck onto the inside of the cab. Can't really see that. So we're just going to go for no more nails again with that. So let's do that now. Put it here to hand. Should be enough. Should be enough. That's all pretty much glued down now. I have to leave that 24 hours. And then that's going to go up in this section here. And then hopefully it's going to really start looking like we're getting near to finishing the shell of the cab. I think what we need to do then, I don't know if I want to do the back door next. I probably need to start thinking about there'll be some bits of wood that go inside to mount the monitor, so that might be next. I've not really got the measurements for those yet. Although having said that, I could also do the front as well. The front needs doing. Again, I don't know how high up it really needs to go because the control panel goes down a certain way and then comes up over. So yeah, things to think about. Can't do it at the moment, so might call it quits here. If not, we'll stick the other bit on and we'll call it quits then. So we'll see. Okay, it's been about 4 hours or so since I glued the little batten bits onto this panel. So I think we can take the clamps off anyway. Have a look what we've got. Clamps decide to stay on there or not, I don't know. Yeah, it's on there pretty solid. So what we're going to do, if I can move this around, zoom out a tiny bit. There we go. Right, so this is going to go slot right in. There we go. Oops. It's quite hard to get this lined up because all the extra excess glue on it. But you get the idea. Like that. Hold it straight. So something like that. So I need to glue that on and somehow keep it there. Not sure how I'm going to do that yet. So let me just figure out. I'm going to get that all glued. I'll probably lay it on its back actually while I do this, and yeah, I'll figure that out and then we'll come back to it. Okay, I put it on its back. It's just going to be easier to leave it like that, because obviously this piece is quite heavy now. With it's quite a big piece of wood, relatively speaking, and the glue's not going to hold on its own. And there's no way for me to clamp it like I did with the other bit. So I put some paper underneath. Reason being, if I'm gluing and any glue spills out through the edges that I can't see underneath, I don't want this thing sticking to the floor, because this stuff sticks really well when it sticks. So that's all done. Got my little kneading pad here, because my knees will give out otherwise because I'm getting old now. Right, so what we're going to do, we're going to glue this bit, bring it up here and glue it against there, and then eventually, once that's all dry, I'm going to stick this angled bit in for a bit of extra support. So, so that's going to go about there. Yeah, that's good. So, definitely that way up. Yes, it's going that way. So, it's which bit do I glue, this or that? I'm going to go for these bits because I know that I'll get the right spot then. So, just do one side, the other side. Right. Going up this way, put a bit of tiny bit of glue along here. The problem is I'll probably get glue on the side so this goes down. Yeah, thought it might. Oh damn. I thought that might happen. That's not gone well at all. Yeah, okay. I'm going to do it like this. This problem, there's no gaps really. It's going to be hard to do. I'm making a right mess of this. Perhaps I should have the buttons on first. I'm thinking that now. These bits. And if I do that, it's such a tight fit. Paper's getting in the way of that, it's not good. Making a bit of a mess. I'm going to have to rush inside and get some tissue paper in a minute because I don't want this stuff drying on these bits. much glue into the gap. Force it down in. Be amazed if this works. So I'll make a right pig's ear out of it at the moment. I need to get some of this stuff off because I can't have this drying on there. Yeah, I might get some tissue paper or something to clean that up. 2 seconds. That's okay, I think. So, once that's dry, I think what I'm going to do, if we come over here, I think can't remember if I've showed this before, but I've got some of this, what do you call it, mesh, sorry. That's going to go on the vent holes. So, as that one that we just put in, the mesh is going to be external on that. I think I'm going to be using that stuff. I'm not sure. I'll have to go back to look at my plans. But what we'll do, we'll get some mesh on the outside of that. So I've got a massive gaping hole at the back of it. And then I've got to decide which panel to do next. I'm not really sure. Maybe the front one. We will see. Right, we'll leave that piece to dry and we'll come back to it in the next episode. The cab's looking good now. It's really starting to look like a proper arcade machine. Thought I'd play a bit of Street Fighter 2 here, just to round things off. This is the Turbo Edition, or Japanese Grandmaster Challenge, whatever it's called. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to the next episode now. I want to start getting some bits and pieces inside the cab stuck in as well soon, so we can think about the bezel and the marquee and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's going alright. So let's just finish this fight like that. So yeah, thanks for watching and see you next time.